Hey guys, it's Bart Johnson here, and this is the Aputure 300d. This is a powerful LED light that Aputure released recently, and it's a really all-around high-quality light. Now, I did a review of this light that you guys can check out, but what a lot of people were noticing with their 300d units was that there was a little bit of a green fringe, a green tint, especially around the outside edges of the beam of light. And it turns out that that was actually caused by this little filter, a glass filter that is over top of the actual LED chip element, and it was causing some of that green fringing. So what Aputure has gone ahead and done is they have reworked and redesigned this entire front element here, including the filter, to correct that green fringe. Now, this is something you can get in touch with Aputure if you have an affected unit, and they will send it to you for free, and you can do a swap and replacement, and you should be good to go. Or they're saying that all 300d units that are shipping as of December 2017 will already have the fix installed, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you're like me and you do have a unit that needs to have the replacement done, that's what we're gonna do today. I have received my replacement from Aputure, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this guy apart, and I'm gonna show you guys how easy it is to do this swap and get your 300d all fixed up, no more green. So let's go ahead and take it apart. Okay guys, so here we go. This is my sort of makeshift workspace right here on my desk, kind of all I got, but it should do for our purposes here. So here I have the 300d, and right here is the kit that came from Aputure, and as you can see in here we have nicely packaged a new front element piece that we're going to be installing into there, and a really nice touch is that they even included the Torx screwdriver that you're going to need to disassemble everything. So let's go ahead and dive in and start taking this guy apart. First thing you need to do is there are screws around here, 3 of them, and we need to go ahead and we need to remove those 3 screws to get these black shrouds off. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, with this 3rd screw coming loose, you'll notice that there's a bunch of things coming loose inside. There's some copper spacers, so we're going to go ahead and get this last screw out, and everything should come apart nicely. So there we go, and you guys will notice that this 3rd screw that goes in sort of the top left is shorter than the other 2 screws, so keep in mind that 1 screw is different, and remember the placement for it. So now let's go ahead, we're going to remove, we have 1 black shroud, and then there's a 2nd piece here that comes off. Set those aside, and then in here this is what sort of came loose and was rattling around. These are 3 spacers, and these are spacers that the screws went through, so make sure to set those aside. And now we're actually getting pretty close. You can see we have this front element all exposed now, and it actually has the same Torx screws to go ahead and remove that. So let's go ahead and get this guy removed. There we go, just 2 screws coming out of that. Make sure to set those aside so that you don't lose them. All right, now the moment of truth, guys. We're gonna reveal what is underneath the shroud here on the 300d. So let's go ahead and pull this guy off. Wow, so there you go. You can see the actual element itself, the LED chip. Make sure you do not touch this. But you can also see all of this heat piping for cooling that chip going into the heat sinks in the body with the fans. But man, look at all that. That is intense. Almost looks like exhaust coming off of a car to dissipate all that heat. So again, do not touch this. We actually want to try and get this on here as quickly as possible, so let's go ahead and do that. We take out our new replacement, nicely protected with foam. Pull that foam out of there. We can get this guy off to the side here. So this has the new corrected filter in it that is going to take care of that green fringe. So let's go ahead and get this guy on. So you're going to need to line up the holes here with the Bowen's release. So let's go ahead and make sure we get everything all lined up. There's a few posts here that'll help guide you to make sure you get it in place. And there we go. Looks pretty good. Make sure I remember where our screw holes are. And now let's go ahead and put these screws back in. And I'm just going to make sure that these are finger tight. No need to go super crazy with it, but I do want them snugged up. So there we go. We have our new element installed. Now it's time to start putting the rest back together. So now what we need to do is the only part that is a little bit tricky, and that is we need to get these two black shrouds back onto the front using the 3 screws and the spacers, and the spacers are what make it a little bit difficult. So we need to get this put back together so that we can have our Bowen's mounting system on the front. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to take these 2 shrouds and we're going to put them together and align the holes. So there we go. And then the next thing that we want to do is find this marking for our lock and unlock and make sure that is over here on this corner near our Bowen's mechanism here. So it just makes sense. It will go on other ways, but it just makes sense to have the lock unlock over near the actual mechanism. So what we are going to do is set these in place, and they're going to go on just like that. Now we need to replace these screws and spacers here, and getting the spacers on is a little bit difficult, but this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to start with the smallest screw, and as you remember, that goes up in the top left. What I'm going to do is I am going to feed the screw through both of the metal shrouds, slip the spacer onto it, and we're going to get it into position into the hole just like that. And I'm going to give it just 2 little turns, just enough to bite into the threads but not enough to lock it down, so that we can get these next ones in place. So let's take one of our long screws and another spacer, and next I'm going to do this one right here on this corner. So I am going to thread the screw through both of the shroud holes, and I have enough room to lift this up actually, get my spacer under there, find the end of the screw. There we go. So now I'm in the spacer, and we'll move it around, boom, and we found the hole. Once again, I'm just going to give it a little 2 turns so that it bites the threads, but not enough to actually lock it down, so that we can get our third one into place. All right, so we've got our spacer, and what I want to do is I'm just going to, because of the way I'm doing this, I need to, use gravity as my friend because I'm doing this upright here. So let's set that spacer in there. Don't know if you guys can see that, but my spacer is set in there, and I'm going to shift it into place in just a moment. But I'm going to take my screw, it's going to go through those holes, and I'm going to use the screwdriver here just to slide the spacer over. There we go, boom. Screw is through the spacer and found the hole. And now we can actually go ahead and tighten this guy down. So that guy's tightened down. Let's move to the next one, get this one tightened down. And our last one here. All right, just finger tight, but let's go around and make sure that they are all tight. And indeed they are. And now the last and most satisfying part, peeling the film off. There we go. So that is a complete replacement of the front shroud of the 300D, and adding the one with the corrected filter, and it is on there, good to go. So now my 300D should be completely free of any green fringe. So there you go, guys. That's how easy it is to do the replacement for the 300D filter all by yourself. Really great of Aputure to address that problem and also provide a free fix for anyone who has affected units. So I hope this video was helpful for you. So now you should have the confidence to go ahead and take apart your 300D and get rid of that green fringe. Guys, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you like this, and make sure to click that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I have new videos coming out. And I'll see you guys in the next one.